thank you so much for your time. Quite an interesting report you put out there, Codros here. And first, I would just like to get some insight here on what you mean by that path to recovery as uneven, which you described.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, Ken. Thank you for having me. So, the title of our report was informed by consideration of two major factors. Firstly, I think we examined the significant success associated with administration of vaccines vis-a-vis the evolution of the pandemic in different countries of the world. So, if you agree with me, thus far we've seen that administration of vaccines has been uneven across different countries and regions of the world. And again, we've also seen, new variants of COVID-19 virus still emerging in some countries and even in some regions across the globe. So for us, we still feel that, despite the fact that 2021 is shaping up to be the post-pandemic year of recovery, and the overall recovery across the world will remain broadly uneven. And for Nigeria, we still feel that the country was still in a very weak position prior to the twin shocks we faced last year. And in addition to that, we feel that policymakers will now be more focused about how to navigate this difficult part of recovery in order to ensure that we have a broad-based, inclusive, and sustainable growth going forward.
All right, well, looking at from the crystal ball from Codros here, you guys are saying that the odds are in favor of marginal decline in yields in the second half.
Yes. Yes, so for us, we think that yields are still likely to decline slightly downwards in the second half of the year, and our views are tied to a number of factors. Firstly, we think that the reason why yields trended significantly upwards in the first half of the year was due to the plans from the Debt Management Office to securitize the ways and means advances held in the books of the central bank. But we understand that the CBN Act prohibits that, so it appears that will no longer be implemented in 2021. So we think that the fact that DMO is unlikely to issue the quantum of domestic debt instruments initially expected, if they were to securitize that with a means advances should lead to reduced supply, and that should push yields downwards. In addition, we think that inflation expectations is also a factor that would come into play here. And based on data from NBS, we've seen slight moderation in inflation in the past 2 months to about 17.93 as we speak. And for us, we still feel that inflation will maintain the downtrend in the second half of the year due to the high base effect we had last year. We also expect that the harvest season should be much better this year, and that should provide respite for food prices that have been the predominant driver of the uptick we've seen in inflation. So we think the combination of reduced supply of domestic debt instruments from DMO, in addition to dissipating inflation expectations, should push yields downward. Again, we also feel that the plan of the federal government to also raise funds from the international market through Eurobond issuance is also a factor that could potentially limit the issuance of domestic debt instruments, and also push yields downwards in the second half of the year.
All right, now let's get this flip on the equity side, and I see that you guys are quite bullish on that front, 5.5%. What do you think is going to drive this, though?
Yeah, so for us, we estimate that the equities market will still deliver a return of 5.5% in 2021, which is our base case. And we think that even though the market has been on the downward trend since that impressive start in the month of January with a gain of about 5.8%, thereafter it has been more of bearish sentiment dominating the market performance. And of course, that is largely tied to, I think, the rapid yet unexpected changes we saw in the fixed income market. So, like I mentioned, if we expect that yield should moderate marginally in the second half of the year, so we think that that will potentially renew domestic investors' appetite for equities once again. Aside that, we also think that the economy would maintain the path of remain on the path of growth. We saw, an exit early from the recession in the fourth quarter of last year, and that was sustained into the first quarter of this year. So we expect that as the economy continues to, recover from the impact of the pandemic, that should also provide some support for corporate earnings, particularly for companies. We think in the cement space, in the consumer goods space as well, as earnings begins to also, improve in line with the recovery in the broad economy. We think that would also, support investors' interest. Aside that, we also think there are some stock-specific events to watch out for in the second half of the year. Firstly, Guarantee Trust Bank has been delisted, and the holding company, Guarantee Trust Holding Company, has been listed on the exchange. So we think that if as soon as we get more clarity on what that enlarged entity looks like, that is also a factor that would drive investors' interest in the shares of the holding company. We also understand that Dangote Cement has recently approved, the shareholders have approved
The share buyback.
that the company can go ahead with its share buyback exercise that kicked off last year. So we expect that sometimes in the third or fourth quarter of this year, we're likely to see a second tranche of share buyback from Dangote Cement, and that is also a positive upside to the stock.
All right, you mentioned some of the things you've seen in the banking sector, even the cement, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on the telecoms, and how you think that's going to play out going into the year.
Yeah, so for the telcos, we think that earnings will still remain broadly positive despite slower momentum in data revenue. So for last year, we saw significant increase in data revenue due to the fact that the number of white collar workers had to comply with lockdown rules. So we saw more of telecommunicating activities that drove increase in data usage and consumption. But as the economy has been open since, I think, fully since the fourth quarter of last year, we expect that data usage and consumption would reduce. However, we think that that will be offset by pickup in voice revenue as activities in the informal sector also pick up. So for us, we remain positive on top line growth for Airtel and of course MTN, who are listed, the two companies listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange.